I'm feeling a little nostalgic for Stash just because I wanted to say greetings and salutations. So, Stash, hope you're still out there watching with us, and all that jazz. Tonight it is uh, the puppet master, Galdacoon.
I don't know what to do with my hands. This is dramatic.
Tank, and me, Duchess Bobby. We are here to catch you up on what we've been doing as well as what the Nerdverse has been up to. Hopefully, Smurf will be joining us later as he was in Florida for the MegaCon last weekend.
Yes.
I think it was. I don't know.
Yes.
This whole year has just been all Blur's Day. So, as far as I'm concerned, it was yesterday as well as 6 months ago. Who knows?
And tomorrow o'clock.
Yeah. Newsflash, apparently I'm not allowed to have red beverages anymore because there's some splatter on our ceiling.
I think I got most of it. There is splatter on here too. But that won't come up.
Yeah, so I was drinking water with Mio out of my water bottle, and then I was like, oh hey, I have a half a can of club soda on my desk. I'll just dump that into my water bottle.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then drink it on the way home. And then I got home and I popped the lid up on my water bottle and it went.
Carbon dioxide expands.
Yeah, a lot. And
she
so
got
that
a CO2 facial.
Pretty hardcore, yeah. And then tonight I was drinking my Izzy soda and I got a blackberry Izzy. Again, red carbonated beverage.
Yeah.
Open that shit up and it explodes all over. So currently my work shirt and pants are in the washing machine because I spilled Izzy soda all over myself.
That's fun.
So red carbonated beverages have been banned from our household.
So it's safe to keep them away from me too.
Yeah.
It's safe to keep anything with color away from you.
I make a mess.
This is why you're not allowed to wear a white suit to the wedding or even a white shirt.
The last time I wore a white shirt in public, I got red shit all over it, and I don't even know what it was.
Yeah, who knows?
That's impressive.
All right, so lots of stuff's been going on. Miss Marvel season finale, Strange New World has also ended. Mark has finished watching Peacemaker.
Yes.
Which
now? Jeez.
Which ended a while ago, but you know.
I finally finished it though. I got it done.
That ending is awesome.
Oh, hilarious. Not much room for a season 2 though, right?
I'd say there is.
Huh.
They left it open.
No, I don't know. Like the Aquaman thing was pretty funny.
That was my favorite part of that.
Well, yeah, that was my favorite part too.
That was fantastic.
Point.
I cannot believe they actually got them to guest star on that.
Right?
So
funny.
That's fucking awesome. I like all of the various tweets that have been coming out about season 2 of Peacemaker, and then what's his name? Motherfucker wrote the damn thing. Is all like, I don't even know what's happening in season 2. What the hell makes you think you know what's happening? So you actually sent that tweet.
Which one was that? Sorry, I'm trying to make sure that we're actually on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
But which tweet was that?
Well, James Gunn's been kind of busy, with the whole last 2 Guardians of the Galaxy things that he's doing.
Yeah.
So I sincerely doubt he's taken too much time to write out a season 2 yet for Peacemaker.
Right, which is why he's been giving people shit when they're like, this latest leak, this is what's going to happen in season 2.
Well, and the whole thing is, like, he did most of, but not all of the first season. And apparently he's doing all of season 2.
Yeah, I've heard that as
So
well. I was just completely
yeah,
spacing on his name
yeah,
because I'm having a brain fart.
yeah, it happens.
Okay. Well, while we're talking about season endings and season beginnings, let's go ahead and talk Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel had a slow start on Disney Plus, but um, after people realized that it wasn't going to be a traditional MCU small screen, it turned out to have a much higher rating um, than the first couple episodes did. The
Highest
show as a whole.
rating MCU series to this point. It's 98% currently on Rotten Tomatoes. That's a pretty big jump from being, what was it, like 30 something percent in the first episode.
Yeah, first two episodes, people had a hard time getting into it, but once you got into it, it was definitely worth the watch.
And it was a really cool story, and how they ended it was so interesting, you know. But it was a cool story because it wasn't just her. It was about her family and about escaping from India and all of that kind of stuff during the Indo-Pakistani war and all that. And it's harrowing in some parts, but it's still really cool because they would manage to tell this superhero story in the middle of it.
Yeah, with still having cultural significance and
Oh,
historical significance.
tons of cultural significance. They really go deep on like the Pakistani culture and stuff like that, and um, honestly, Muslim culture to a certain extent for a chunk of it because they very big scenes take place in their mosque. So
Yeah. Did you let Scarlett watch it?
she has not yet. I wanted to watch the whole thing first to
Makes sense.
Make sure.
make sure it didn't get too crazy. But yeah, I'm actually going to probably not tomorrow, but yeah, I'm gonna have her actually watch it and see if she likes it because she
Yeah,
loved Captain Marvel and Wonder Woman. So
it'll be interesting to see what she thinks.
yeah,
For those of you who have not put the two and two together, Tank's oldest uh, is also one of the correspondents with the video clips that you've seen on Facebook, who gave us the child's eye view of what it was like going to Denver Pop Culture or Fan Expo. It's got so many names. It's not Denver Comic Con anymore. It's not Pop Culture Con anymore. No, it's Fan Expo.
It's the Denver Cool People's Club.
But anywho, his oldest is the one who almost started crying, talking about it was the best day of her entire life.
It was super cute.
now she's gonna want to tell everybody how cool Zombies 3 was
You know what? Do a
because we've
clip
watched
of her giving Zombies 3 a review and we will post it.
we've watched it at least 4 times this week since it came out, and it came out on Friday, I believe.
Well,
Goodness gracious.
I know that I have watched the first Zombies movie like 6 or 7 times with your girls.
Oh, we've gone through the series a couple times this week, all 3 movies.
And then when your oldest starts trying to do the cheers along with them, it's fantastic. Who has a shrimp as a mascot? I'm just saying.
I don't know, but I do like those football jerseys. I would buy one of those if they sold them.
I'm
'Cause
sure
it's
that
like-
you can buy them like through the Disney store or whatever.
No, I've looked. We were able to find her one of the cheerleading outfits though last year, so that was cool.
Yeah, so getting her take on Miss Marvel, I think, will be awesome.
Yeah.
Also, the season finale of Miss Marvel leads us right into what currently is only a rumor, but I am hoping will be true, and that is that the X-Men are officially coming to the MCU, with not going straight to Professor Xavier and what's happening at the school, but starting in Louisiana.
Yeah, that was kind of an interesting thing that came out. What was this? it was this last week, right?
Yep.
And that apparently they're going to be starting with a at least Gambit inspired story.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, they did start with Miss Marvel because
Yeah, that was an interesting little twist at the end of that. Was she was the first official mutant in the MCU. They called her out as a mutant. She has a mutant genetic thing that caused her powers to work the way that they did.
First of many.
Oh yeah, first of I'm sure going to be tons.
and honestly, my favorite of all of the X-Men is Storm. Like she's badass and I love her.
Especially Storm from the cartoons, because she used to have those soliloquies when she was lighting things on fire.
Well, duh, Storm from the cartoons.
She'd get those glowy eyes, and then she'd start singing like haikus and shit, and then fucking shit's just flying all over the place.
She's an African queen.
It was awesome. She's throwing limericks out
And
there
she
and
can like
balls of lightning.
fly with like the big cape and
Yeah, she's doing like sonnets and shit while she's throwing snow in the air. That's about all the poetry I know. Don't ask me to do anymore.
But yeah, so Storm is my favorite, followed by Jean Grey, and then Gambit. So
That's
you know,
a
I feel
decent
like all
lineup.
of those are solid choices in the X world. You know, I mean, obviously Professor Xavier in the films, both of our Professor X's are fantastic, but still have to say those are my top three. And if we can get a little bit more of Gambit's backstory, and you know, because I feel like in the cartoon especially, he was just like this cool dude who would show up, throw some like light up cards, use his little stick thing, and then disappear for like 8 episodes.
He was like, to an extent, that's the way his character was built. But I think they super generalized the stereotype on it, and that's why the MCU really hasn't done anything with it, because he was like a French person, but a Cajun person. You know, like
Yeah.
he spoke that
Yeah, Remy.
super thick accent, but he was so like, you know, footloose and carefree and shit. It was just like, you can't do that anymore.
Now, are you just talking?
Push the boundary a little bit.
Are you talking purely heroes or characters in general when you're talking about your top three?
Purely of the X-Men side of the thing.
Okay, but there's good guys and bad guys in the X-Men thing. That's what I'm
Well, I
asking.
mean, no, because you have to think you have the Brotherhood and then you have the X-Men.
Okay, so you're going strictly X-Men. Okay.
I'm going strictly X-Men, not the
Okay.
entire universe, just those who have actually gone to Xavier's school and or worked with them. Because like Gambit didn't go to the school,
No.
but he also worked directly with them as opposed to joining the Brotherhood.
See, if it's based solely on that, then my favorite one's actually Colossus. I love Colossus.
Colossus is up there.
Oh yeah, Beast is definitely up there.
Beast would be up there for me.
Honestly, like my least favorite is like Cyclops.
Cyclops is a bitch, and
Because he's a whiner.
Yeah, he's just like a pansy ass bitch.
They can do nothing that will make Cyclops not a little bitch.
They
He'll
tried.
always be a bitch.
They tried repeatedly, but yeah, not really doing a good job at it. I also always loved Cable.
Cable is also very cool.
Cable was great.
But favorite character in the
Jubilee was
X-Men
very
universe?
underutilized in the
Agreed.
movies.
Shadowcat as well.
My favorite characters, though, in the X-Men universe, so not X-Men specifically, is actually Juggernaut and Apocalypse.
This does not surprise me.
I like the
Oh,
villains.
great.
I like the
I also like Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler was one of my favorites, actually.
Like Nightcrawler and Beast.
Yeah.
Like
And
those dudes are badass.
The Nightcrawler from the older movies was much better portrayal than the Nightcrawler in the newer movies.
Same thing with Beast. Kelsey Grammer
Kelsey
Beast
Grammer, oh yeah.
was like badass.
Yeah.
The what's his ass in the Days of Futures Past or First Class?
Slut Bungwalla.
Yeah.
You don't like him?
Not as much as Kelsey Grammer as Beast.
I don't know. I like Nicholas Holt. I don't know.
Maybe it's because I'm in love with Kelsey Grammer because he's also been nominated for a Tony and has been on Broadway several times, and he can sing like an angel.
Maybe.
All right, so
I don't know.
not right this moment, but I think next time we all get together, put together your fantasy draft from the X-Men universe for people who you would have on your team.
Wait, didn't we have homework for the last one?
Probably.
So, is this going to be? Where are we basing this on? The movies or the comic books
Or the cartoon.
or the cartoon, which is closer to the comic books than the movies?
Honey, what do you think?
I would say the comic books.
Okay.
Can we say comic book / cartoon? Because I've seen almost all of the cartoons, and I've only read a few of the comics.
Fair. I think we just got to cut out the movie
live
versions
action.
Cut out the live action movies.
because they're getting ready to reboot this whole process with all these characters, right? So
Can we keep Deadpool in there? Specifically, the Ryan Reynolds Deadpool.
No, because if we're doing live action, we have to include all live action.
Well, no, he's part of the new universe, though. Supposedly,
right.
he's already has a movie in production.
I say we just go strictly cartoon and comic book.
Okay.
You know, when Wolverine is still in yellow spandex.
I guess we can count Deadpool because he's already classified as a character in MCU.
Dude, I just said no.
Well, if we hold down, okay. Well, then the other one.
And this is why we're going to have a successful marriage.
The other one would be Charles Xavier that you'd have to define too.
Yeah, because he's in the new movies technically, even though it's an alternate universe.
Back in the businessness.
So we're going. They have to have been colored in.
Technically, we don't know for sure if that's not the cartoon.
You just took that to a wrong place, and I couldn't hear Tank.
You're the one who said colored.
In! Using pencils or markers or crayons.
But that version of Professor X might actually be the cartoon Professor X, because he's the only one with the yellow wheelchair and the green suit.
I do love that he came out in the yellow chair in Doctor Strange.
So that actually might count.
This thing too. It was very subtle, but he did this thing when he was trying to use his mind.
Yep.
And then his head exploded.
Did it explode? No, he
technically exploded. His neck got broken. Technically.
Yeah. Anson Mount. His head imploded.
His head exploded. Imploded. I guess.
Okay,
Still one of the best death scenes I've ever seen.
That was wild. Made him scream into his own brain.
She's sitting right next to me, and I literally cackled out loud like I do. It's like I was so shocked. It was hilarious, you know?
You were just so excited.
Yeah.
Well, it was awesome.
It was.
Head exploding good.
All right. Since you just brought up Anson Mount, let's go ahead and leave X-Men behind for a moment and go over to Star Trek Strange New Worlds.
Yay!
Probably the most Star Trek-like Star Trek series that we've seen of all of the new reboots.
Oh, absolutely. This is... Yeah, I mean, even including Picard, which has just been...
Fan service?
Yeah, I'm going to...
Take that away from her.
Hey, you don't get that anymore.
Doug has an older bone, and she keeps coughing, so I think it's splintering in her mouth. Right, yeah, so Strange New Worlds. We watched the season finale. We finished the whole... Oh, my God. It's so good. You know, the way they show the Romulans. You know.
And this series, if I'm not mistaken, is based on what was the original pilot
Yeah,
for the original series, where it was supposed to be Pike.
correct. So Pike is the primary captain. In the last episode, he does meet James T. Kirk,
Yeah.
and
Alternate universe James T. Kirk, alternate timeline James T. Kirk.
Yeah, but it is
It's
an alternate universe, but it's definitely taking its inspiration as being a prequel to the original series.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And honestly, the fact that they have Kirk's brother on as a what ensign, lieutenant.
Now I can't remember.
Anyways, whatever his rank
on the
is,
crew.
whatever his rank is,
I think he's
they
ensign. I think
they have Jim Kirk's older brother on there, serving under Pike.
Which is that's pretty cool, to be honest.
Yeah. And he is played by was it Dan Jeanot, however you pronounce it.
I don't know how to pronounce that either. So.
Not only that, you're also getting an origin story for Uhuru at the same time.
Yep.
Which was cool. I liked that.
Yeah.
And there's so many, time bubbles in space and,
the fairy tale story.
Yeah, the fairy tale story out of the kids' book. And
I mean, that was even cooler than the holodeck.
Just so much Star Trek shit.
It felt very next gen as opposed to original series.
Yeah, it was right in the vein of everything that's good about Star Trek. You get an alternate universe, or you get people in costumes, or they have to go onto another ship, and everything good about Star Trek was in this, and it was awesome.
Yeah. I mean, Anson Mount, Rebecca Romaine, just amazing jobs.
By the way, Anson Mount as Pike.
Great choice.
Yeah, what the hell? Why didn't that happen before?
Right. And he even looks like the original actor.
Yeah, he looks a lot like the original actor.
And it's cool because they are tying it in with the correct timeline, because Admiral Pike in the other timeline gets gunned down. He gets gunned down
by Khan.
Yeah, and so
because isn't that part of the original series? Is that
no? That's all alternate timeline.
Well, I'm saying not okay. What am I trying to think of?
In the original series, he's
dead.
Up with some sort of horrible dismemberment disease, and
he's not dead, but he's legless.
And then they dropped him off on that planet where he can live forever with that one beautiful girl.
Which would make sense if you think about his glimpse into the future.
10 years into the future.
Right? Yeah. Where his face is half melted off.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gets jacked up pretty hard.
Yeah,
it's all part of that whole circle, and so we know what's coming, and he kind of knows. So they were just like, okay, since you guys know what's coming, we're going to let him in on it so that that we're onto the gag, And so I felt like that was kind of a tie into the original series.
Plus, he got to talk to himself.
Yeah.
Well,
and
they did it.
In the series finale, you actually get to hear him talk to Scotty too. You just they never call him Scotty in the show.
But he
does say, "I'm an engineer, not a magician."
Which, if you're going to have a call out but not actually explain it, that's
right. Have Scotty.
That's not bad.
Have Scotty say the Bones line.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it works.
Yeah.
And I like the dude that they chose for Spock. Actually.
Oh, yeah. Ethan Peck is great.
I like him more than Zachary Quinto Spock.
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
He's doing a very good job.
Yeah. And then what's her name? God, what's the actor? T'Pring. His fiance. I like T'Pring. In what was it? Second to last episode or third to last episode, where she's like, "So I've been researching sex."
Yeah. She wants it to get inside of his human side.
And she's like, so I've been reading all of these books about human intercourse.
Methinks to pring is a little freaky.
Yeah. That's why I like to pring. That, and she's kind of a badass. Like, you really do get to see a lot of the female power in the Vulcan culture through her.
Which is good, honestly.
Yeah, agreed. Definitely recommend watching this if you haven't seen it yet. It's fantastic. It's on Paramount Plus. I think you can also get it on a couple other streaming services. It looks like maybe Amazon is going to have it up if you have a premium subscription.
Yeah.
Paramount Plus is the way to go.
I'd say Paramount Plus is your
All the
best
Star
option.
Trek.
Yeah. And I can say this genuinely. I never was a huge Star Trek fan, but this has done a lot to make me more of a fan of that franchise. I just like the way they're telling this story.
Yeah.
And having the knowledge of this takes place before what everyone's, familiar with is really cool.
Right.
Yeah. Season 2 is already confirmed. We're not sure when we're going to get it, but I'm going to assume around end of spring next year.
Probably.
Give it about a year till the next season comes out. But in the meantime, we have 2 new seasons that are starting next month that we'll be able to watch. Or no, excuse me. One starting next month, the other starting in September. And the one starting next month is House of the Dragon. HBO Max is going to ride the Game of Thrones, coattails until there is no tomorrow. We have House of the Dragon prequel to Game of Thrones coming out the end of August. Was that August 21st? Thank you. I can't read font that tiny.
I can't either. I just guessed.
So coming out August 21st. And then they have that Jon Snow sequel in the works that Kit Harington is actually working on as well. So
yeah, the one that comes out next month is the one with Matt Smith. And...
Yes. We're just going to talk about everything that essentially leads up to the war.
Targaryen story.
Yeah. So I believe it's actually how the Targaryens unite all of the realms.
Yeah, and so we get like the Mad King story and that kind of stuff.
No. Mad King is too far or too close to the Game of Thrones story.
Okay.
This is the story of the Targaryens when they're still riding dragons and uniting the kingdoms.
Yeah, this is everything that is before the the Great War of the Kings or whatever it is.
Yeah.
The Mad King.
Yeah, so this is like multiple generations before him.
Okay.
So like we won't see Rhaegar and what's it, Lyanna Stark?
Yeah.
Like we won't see any of that.
You might see Rhaegar at like the very end of it, maybe.
I don't think so because I don't think it's. I mean, yeah, anything's possible, and who knows how far and how many episodes and seasons we're going to get of this.
Well, if it cost $500 million, or not $500 million, how much was it? It was a lot.
Yeah.
To make this series too. It was several $100 million to make the first season.
House of the Dragon.
So wasn't Lord of the Rings level, but it was still pretty expensive from what I saw.
I'm looking.
$20 million per episode.
Will cost under $20 million per episode.
Isn't that
a 10-episode first season?
Oh, actually, that's a little bit. That's not too. No, that
for around $100 million per
So
season.
No,
that was the
Oh, that was
original
Game of
series.
Game of Thrones was pitched out for 100 million per season.
Two a
20 million.
little shy of $200 million.
Yeah, so about
Yeah.
$200 million for a 10-episode season.
That's a lot.
That is fucking ridiculous.
A lot of money.
That's expensive.
They will
So
get
it
a lot
better
more.
pay off, or we're not going to be seeing anything else in the future.
Right.
Yeah, from HBO at all.
Yeah,
Right.
they're actually having some financial issues at the moment. Weirdly enough.
Gee, I wonder why.
So is Starbucks. Did you see that?
Yeah, they're actually closing down stores.
The this is not the place for this, but one of the CEOs said they're closing down a bunch of stores because they're in the wrong areas.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they explained what the wrong areas were, which was hilarious, to be honest.
Right. We all knew.
Oh yeah, knew that was going to happen.
So HBO is going, about $200 million for Game of Thrones, and as Tank was saying, that's still not as much as Amazon is
Oh.
spending on the Lord of the Rings TV series, which starts the beginning of September. That is an estimated $58 million per episode.
Jiminy shit.
It's not even half. The reported cost for the full season, not series, season, was $465 million.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
For
Yeah.
a season.
For
And it's
a
only
season.
like 10 episodes.
I think it's 9 episodes. I don't even think it's 10. I think it's 9.
So
Holy
just so you know, all of that
shitballs.
money that you're spending on Amazon, buying shoes for your niece, or wedding presents for your favorite sister-in-law, like any of these things, it's all going to pay for Lord of the Rings. All of it.
That's why Bezos couldn't buy the Broncos.
Because
Oh, he
spent
could
it
have
on
bought the
Lord of the Rings.
Broncos. He
I
could have
know.
bought the Broncos 100 times over.
Yeah, I know. It was facetious.
Oh no, but it's still funny.
Although,
Like,
if he had bought the Broncos, the amount of times I would hear that stupid Jeffrey Bezos song would increase exponentially.
Which one?
Shut up.
which one? I don't remember that song. What song?
You can't even make eye contact with the camera.
He can't. CEO entrepreneur born in 1964, Bezos, Jeffrey Bezos.
I hate you.
Oh my god, that's the best.
He will play that song on like volume 8 on the Alexa in our bedroom as I'm trying to get ready for bed.
Come on, Jeffrey, you can do it.
That's an
Take away,
aggressive
get you
choice.
back into it.
But yes, we got our first full trailer.
Yeah, and it looks fantastic.
It looks more interesting than the movies.
Yeah, because it looks like it's not just a bunch of dudes walking. You
They
know?
get into shenanigans on their
For any
travels.
And they
any-
eat a lot.
potential new viewers, I have hated on the Lord of the Rings more than most people will do in public.
This
Because
is
I
very
find
true.
it incredibly boring for the most part.
I love those movies because, I feel like if I turn it on and fall asleep to it, it's okay.
I feel like anytime I turn it on, I'm going to fall asleep. That's the
Cool.
problem.
The scores are so well done. It's just like, oh my God, I can sleep for days listening to that.
One of the things I have read about the Lord of the Rings, both the book series and the movies, is it's basically just a food blog with a little bit of travel thrown in to spice it up.
Oh, you mean for the hobbits?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know,
Basically, yeah.
it's like, so we're on our second breakfast, and then we realize, hey, there's a piece of jewelry we should toss into a fiery pit.
I'm just saying, for a universe built on myth and legend and all this super cool fantasy crap with, dragons and orcs and all of that stuff. Minus one of those movies, which I believe is the second one, right?
Yeah.
There's not a lot of that in there. There's not a whole lot of, cool fantasy action-y stuff.
Oh, it's about the David that must defeat Goliath.
Well,
It's all about the USA and the Cold War.
there's been on the I'm ignoring everything Mark is saying. He's getting sandbagged really hard right now.
Not my take. He thought it was hilarious.
But I had a thought, damn it! So the Shannara Chronicles have been compared a lot to Lord of the Rings.
Well, from what I've heard, there's inspiration was taken from one to the other.
Correct.
Fairly deeply.
I find Terry Brooks's writing to be much more compelling than Tolkien.
Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and say this. I read The Hobbit, and that was way more interesting than the fucking movies.
Yeah, I mean, I've read the books. I read The Hobbit. I've read the Lord of the Rings books.
Yeah.
I even did the play The Hobbit, which the play is more interesting than the movies.
The books are interesting because he spends 100,000 pages just building this huge land, basically, and the story is taking you to go see other parts of it while he's building the whole thing, and then the movies try to take that story or that concept and put it into on screen. Visually very cool, story wise very boring.
I mean,
yeah, that's true.
Also, I think a lot longer than it needed to be, because a lot of the detail in the book and a lot of the reasons that there's so many books and so many pages is because of the explaining the details of the trees of the forest that they're walking through.
The verbosity of the bullshit.
Which is great in text because it lets you build a universe in your brain.
And that's one of the reasons books are always going to be better than the movie.
I don't necessarily agree with that. Most of the time, yes. Either way, that's what made the movies boring for me, was that you're explaining this, you're building this world, but in movies, you need the characters to build the world for you a lot of the time, and they just don't do a great job of that for large chunks of what is essentially a 12-hour movie.
Yeah. It's a visually very stunning movie.
Oh, visually, yes.
It's not enough
beautiful.
Story to encapsulate half of a day's worth of cinematography.
Exactly. And it is beautiful visually. All the backgrounds, all the
Oh man, it still holds up today.
It's amazing. But that's the problem, is that's most of the story
right
that you're getting in the movie is, oh, look at this beautiful background. Like, okay, but why isn't anybody doing anything? The background is.
I mean, we could be desensitized by things like Game of Thrones and stuff like that.
Yeah, but we were.
I watched those movies a full decade before I saw an episode of Game of Thrones.
That's true. That's true.
And I still enjoy the movies. I honestly haven't watched all 3 of the Hobbit movies because I think turning that into a 3-movie.
There's 3 of those?
There's 3 of them, yeah. That was a money grab.
Hard. Yeah, I haven't seen any of them.
I've seen the first one. But
I saw the dragon one. That's one I remember the most.
Yeah, I haven't watched all of them because I just was like, this is just being greedy. Like there are some films that or books that you're turning into a film that it needs to be a 2-parter because most people won't sit there for 4 hours.
Like Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park has almost as many sequels as Land Before Time, and Land Before Time made it up to like 17.
Okay, there's only been 6 Jurassic Park movies. Right. We could easily have 5 more.
There's a
She
lot of
likes
people
doing it in my
debating that
sleep.
currently based on what happened in the most recent one. Apparently, I have not seen it yet, but I have not heard anything good.
Yeah.
I still want to see it.
Well,
Well, I'm gonna
I
watch
like
it.
that it
but
has some of the original cast.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fully going to watch the movie.
Oh, Laura Dern is great.
I haven't heard anything good about it. That's the problem.
Well, speaking of
But-
things that Tank has not heard fabulous things about, and or something he just doesn't care that much about, Marvel's Midnight Suns showcase series.
Oh, I've heard good things about it. It's just not my. It's not my type of gameplay. That's all it is. It's supposed to be very, very tactical, turn-based RPG style. So anyone who's ever played XCOM would probably have an idea of what this game is going to be.
I understand the words that you're saying. I don't understand the sentence you're forming.
XCOM is at this point kind of an older game now, but it's essentially aliens attack Earth and you have to combat them. But it's done very tactically, and it can be kind of slow moving, and it's just about putting your forces in the right place to do things and then come together and kind of execute this thing, whatever you're trying to do, taking over a building, killing something, whatever. But I don't generally enjoy those types of games, so I don't know how much I'm going to enjoy Midnight Suns. The idea behind it's really cool, but I was hoping for something more in the vein of like Ultimate Alliance or something like that. But I don't think we're going to be getting that. So,
Yeah.
but it
Well,
sounds cool. Story sounds interesting.
It's going to be, right now we're seeing Captain America, in some of the videos.
Oh yeah.
Trying to see who else we get. This is just a lot talking about Captain America. The Hunter.
Well, Hunter is supposedly going to be the player character.
Okay.
Whoever you are is the Hunter. And the thing is, it's the Midnight Suns in the comic books is a pretty cool group of heroes. They deal with like the darker side of Marvel universe, essentially. A lot more, hell and demon stuff. And they're kind of taking the inspiration from that to build this, and it's going to have Hellstrom, Werewolf by Night, Doctor Strange, Ghost Rider,
Blade.
Morbius. Huh?
Blade is apparently going to be in there.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Blade, which would make sense because the Midnight Suns are essentially Doctor Strange, Blade, and Ghost Rider is the main
That makes sense.
components of the Midnight Suns. And then they have other that kind of play with them, like Moon Knight, Damian Hellstrom, stuff like that. Yeah. But this game is taking the approach by that, but it seems like it's going to be more focused on telling a new story. So
I'm always interested to see how they can take existing characters and make something new and interesting with it, instead of just trying to redo what's already been done before.
And I agree with that completely. That it looks like it's going to be an interesting story, and I think I'd be interested in the story, to be honest. Just not interested in the game style. But I'll probably end up giving it a shot anyway. Maybe it'll draw me in with the story.
So this is going to be released on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and PC gaming.
Yep, and that'll be in October 7th?
October 7th.
Yeah.
So all in all, it looks like it's going to be pretty widely available. And the story seems interesting. The characters seem interesting. I'm just not a console gamer. So we're going to leave this up to Tank and Smurf to figure out what's going on there. Maybe if your nephews can give us an idea.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll hear about it from either Dipshit or, one of the two boys. So,
Well, and it's supposed to be somewhat inspired by the God, what is it called? The mobile game, First Strike, I think is what it's called.
Among Us.
not,
No.
not Among Us. That I think they already have a Marvel version of Among Us. I think I've seen
Do
that
they
at some
really?
point.
Probably.
Probably. But you choose your characters that go into battle, and it's kind of built on like the deck building premise of you're building up the characters' powers and combining them together in certain ways will make them more effective and stuff like that.
Cool.
Interesting.
So
I'm sure that'll find a good market because those turn
yeah.
place games are, their time sucks.
Oh
There are
yeah,
a lot of people that love time sucks.
I'm sure this will find a decent sized market. Me having any type of issue with it is not going to impact its sales. I'm assuming it's
No.
going to have a pretty big market. Just the type of game it is, and with in the world they're living in, is going to be a big seller, I assume.
Yeah.
I mean, the Marvel Universe, as we've learned over the past, 15 years, is a huge draw.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah, crazy huge draw.
Big screen, small screen, console, whatever. People are going to want to be involved, and especially if you can play your favorite Marvel characters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the biggest thing.
Done badly, it's still something that will do well.
And one of the nice things about those turn-based games too, and like you guys, I'm not really super into them, but you can leave a game in the middle of something and come back and remember exactly where you were and what you were doing. Where like if you leave a game, one of the like a first person or anything like those type games, you have to remember all the quests that you're doing and all that kind of stuff. But the turn-based, because there's so many things going on with your characters, you can leave it at almost any point and come back to it and know exactly what you're doing.
Yeah. Yep. It looks like it's going to be good for the people that enjoy that kind of stuff, and I'm interested to at least try it out.
Well, in October, probably not with Gold Lagoon and myself because that's kind of a busy month for us.
Yeah.
But
Especially
the rest of the nerds will give you their opinions on it. In the meantime, we want to let you know that we're going to be going to every other week during the summer, rest of the summer, just because things are crazy in personal lives as well as slowing down on TVs and such. But we will be back. We will talk more. Next time we all get together, we'll talk Thor, Love and Thunder, because by then we will have seen it. Tank has already seen it. He saw it opening weekend.
Yes, I did.
But,
we haven't.
We have not. We have been either dealing with shitstorms or hiding under the covers. That's pretty much been our life for the last 8 months.
We've been living in the literal Stone Age for the last week.
Yeah, we did not have hot water until today.
Oh, you guys, God, it took all week to get that figured out?
Yep.
Yeah, because I wasn't going to pay for it.
Because the guy who had installed it back in August of last year
did a shit job.
Did it wrong. And
I still don't think it's done right, but it's done interestingly enough that it'll probably work. Now that I understand the situation, I'm like, I mean, that's one way to do it.
Like, the point is, I could take a hot shower in my own house.
Yep.
Because we've had to go over to my in-laws' house so I could shower.
Driving to Central Command to take a shower.
That's always fun. Excuse me, Nana, I'm going to go and shower and stand around naked with your window open. So, anywho, on that note,
That's generally only acceptable in your own house.
Right? You don't even get like that post shower like walk out of the steamy bathroom and like just the towel and have like the air conditioning hit you.
I have children. I haven't had that in 7 years.
Personal choice, buddy.
Somewhat.
Look, you chose the wife and she chose you having kids.
Speechless. Wow.
All right.
It's probably a smart move.
Not that my sister listens to this podcast, but it's still funny.
Oh, I love those girls very much, but yes, having children and having your own space don't comply with each other. Let's just put it that way.
In fairness, if Mark didn't have dog before we met, we would not have pets.
Yeah.
Oh, Mama says good choice having the girls. I think she's talking about all three of them. Your wife and the two midgets.
Ah, gotcha.
So, okay. Well, we're going to call it a night. We will not be back next week unless something completely earth-shattering and groundbreaking happens between now and then. But we will also be joining up with My Brother's an Idiot when they start doing their live streams starting in the next couple of weeks. So you'll still be able to see us on a regular basis. Yep, Mama says that the girls lucked out with you too, Tank.
Aww.
That's just because Mama Tank is her favorite son.
I know. I'm aware.
Yeah.
We're all aware of the order.
Of the 12 of us.
Do we have
He's okay with it because he's the second favorite son.
Okay, kids.
I said that the second time I met Tank. I was like, well, I know where you are.
We could just say he's the second favorite child.
Oh, there you go.
All right.
We love you too, Mama.
We'll see you guys when we see ya. I'm hanging up now. Bye, all.
Sticks and stones may break my bones, but streams will never kill me.
Unless it's this one.